So the 6th of March came and went and no America's Cup racing. We all know why that's happened, but it's rescheduled for the 10th of March for the 36th America's Cup presented by Prada. So clearly it's been a bit of a frustrating time for everyone, but no one more than these two teams. They've been targeting the 6th of March for so long. You know, the boats are all measured in, the crews are all weighed in, development is over. And so you've got a lot of frustrated people in these teams just wanting to get on with the show, wanting to find out, is their boat going to be quick enough? These guys are the best sailors in the world, the most professional athletes that you can come across, and they're going to be ready when racing begins. So what do we know about the configuration of these two boats? Well, from what it looks like, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli haven't changed a whole lot since the Prada Cup final. You know, my take is that they were targeting to be as fast as they could be to win that Challenger Series, to be the challenger for this America's Cup. So they might have made a few refinements, but watching them sail over the last few weeks, nothing really seems to have changed too much. Whereas Team New Zealand, we haven't seen them race for a long time. One of the obvious differences between the two boats is the foils themselves. You know, the T foil versus this anhedral Y foil. All the different pros and cons have been discussed at length. But for me, the biggest thing is just the area of the foils. Team New Zealand's foils are significantly smaller. So that lends them to being probably a faster boat, particularly in the breeze. But there's this potential weakness for them in the lighter winds. A smaller foil will generate less lift. Might make it harder to get up and get going. But we've seen them do a few creative things with their sail plan. One of the most interesting things we've seen is this new Code Zero that we've seen. They've tagged it the Wampa. If we get a light wind race during the America's Cup, that sail might be a feature to help combat this light wind deficit that they potentially have. So sport is generally about momentum, and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli were developing a great amount of momentum in this America's Cup. You know, having been through all the rounds of racing, progressing, getting a lot of race practice in. Now all of a sudden with this extra delay, it's almost going to be 3 weeks between racing for them. So that momentum is tapering off. You know, that advantage that many of us thought they might have is slowly disappearing, and it might be more of an even playing field when it comes to the actual racing, the pre-starts and the tactical battles on the race course. So ever since these AC35s have started racing, it's becoming more and more obvious that starting is really important. It's actually critical because once you get in front off that first cross, you really are controlling the race. You know, I've raced with Francesco Bruni as part of the Artemis program in Bermuda. I raced against Jimmy Spittle and I raced against Peter Burling, and I have a pretty good idea of some of their, I guess, strategies when it comes to racing. Jimmy's quite thorough. He's very kind of predictable in his starting. He likes to get into a position and be strong, and so we can kind of predict what he might do in the pre-starts, whereas Peter is a bit of a seat of the pants kind of sailor. You know, sailing against him in 49ers, racing against in the Cup, you never really know what he's going to do. He's always trying to be a bit more creative, and so two different styles is what we're going to see in this America's Cup. If you look through the history of the America's Cup, it's very rare that it's a tight battle right to the end. Generally, one team has got the design right, sails the boat better, and wins quite easily. This America's Cup, who knows how it's going to play out, but what we do know is what we see on Wednesday for the first day of racing is going to give us a really good indication on which team's got it right.